as we get started, but I just want to make sure that we have enough time for everyone and everything. So good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. We're excited to have Max with us today from Entrepreneurship. The cool thing about Max is that he builds tiny startups on a live stream and gets feedback in real time. So today we'll come up with an idea, go through the process of prototyping, then test the product in the market. So we encourage you to turn on your cameras and get engaged throughout today's webinar. And lastly, I just want to let you know that we are recording today's webinar, and everyone is on mute, just so you know. So once we get started here, if you want to share anything, just make sure that you unmute yourself before you start talking. So with that, Max, I'm going to hand it over to you, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Hello. Yes. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. I'm super excited to be here today. This should be a ton of fun. So yeah, basically what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be winging it, more or less. We're gonna brainstorm a few little ideas, kind of like what I do on my live stream. What I basically do on my live stream is I come up with some dumb concept, or I've pre-planned some dumb concept that we think solves a problem in the world, and we go and we try to build a startup around it. We try to prototype some real product. We try to build some real thing on the internet, and see if we can get out into the world and see if we can get into customers' hands, and maybe we can make a company out of it. And that's typically what I do on my live stream, and that's what we're going to be doing here today. Should be a ton of fun. I'm going to kind of leave the first 10 minutes are going to be a little bit of a brainstorm. So if anybody has any ideas that they're trying to build and they want me to run through, if they have any like very silly, not at all serious startup ideas, I'm also totally down for that. And then if nobody has any ideas, I can also just use a list that I have personally. But we're actually going to go through the process of realistically prototyping a product, and then we'll talk about how the marketing might work, how we might get it out there. If we have enough time, we might even just do that. But we're going to run through as much as we possibly can to get this theoretical little startup idea out into the world and test it. So, and I can totally talk a ton about that process. I would love questions. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'm used to being on a live stream where I have to keep talking to prevent dead air. So I have the bad habit of talking fast, but I do love questions. So yeah, cool. I hope that makes sense. Does anybody have any like general questions on that process, how that works, anything like that? I'll narrate as much as I can as I'm going through it, so it'll make sense as we're getting into it, but I want to make sure people are comfortable before we just immediately jump in.
Obviously, this is like a sped up process. Like usually when you're doing like a full build, right, it's going to take like weeks, months, whatever. This is kind of just like throw it all in, hour and a half, whatnot.
I mean, it depends on the product entirely. Like I'm currently building something that is taking me a good bit longer. Like I'm trying to build a SaaS business right now. And it's a simulation that I'm trying to sell to universities to teach marketing. So it's a deeper tech product than what I usually approach. And honestly, I've probably only spent around like 20 hours overall building the thing. What I use online and what I'll be using here are no-code tools. And if you've never heard of no-code, it's sort of think like Wix, right? You needed to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all these fancy programming languages like 5-10 years ago to build a website. But now there's WordPress, Wix, Squarespace. There's these tools that just let you make them, right? So if our product is a website, websites are unbelievably easy to spin up, and I will be able to absolutely cover that in probably less than an hour, probably less than half an hour. If it's an app or something deeper, technical and techie online, there are now no-code tools for those as well. And I've gotten good enough with them that we can probably whip up a prototype really, really quickly. If it's a deeper tech idea, we'll probably make a landing page and a little Wizard of Oz structure to test the idea out. But usually with most ideas that I come up with, at least, I can, if I'm quick, prototype them in like an hour and a half. So I'm confident we'll be able to get a good chunk of the way there, unless it's something crazy techie that I need to really build from scratch.
Good deal.
Yeah. Cool. Neat. Awesome. If there are no other questions, let's start brainstorming. So the two ways that we could go about this, if we're doing a physical product, right? The idea is a physical product. I'm going to go over a couple small tools that we can use to manufacture that product. We're probably not going to actually do that. But if you have a 3D printer, you know a place with a 3D printer, or we can just use a couple services online, we can prototype that product absolutely. There are usually ways to kind of get it printed or get it created for most simple 3D physical products. So that's one thing. We'll go over that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a landing page, a website for this product, right? To the point where we make the idea that we have, even though we don't have it completely ready, we make it look real, right? Because it's an excellent way to test out your startup idea and actually start interacting with real customers and potentially start selling. You make your idea look real on a website to the point where when people go there, they're convinced they can go and buy this thing right now. So you put a little buy now button at the bottom with an actual price. The whole thing looks functional. Everything looks like it exists. That buy now button doesn't lead to a payment page. We're not collecting any payment. We're not going to try to scam anybody. You don't want to sell something unless it's ready. And instead will lead to like a form where it says, hey, super glad you're interested. We're actually still manufacturing the first round of the product, but we'd love to get your email so we can let you know when the product is actually ready to ship. If you can get people to click on that and put their email in, even better, for that designated price point that you have on your website, that is huge. You now literally have customers that you can talk to, communicate with, work with, sell to without building anything, which takes a ton of the risk out of entrepreneurship. And it also looks amazing for investors if you try to get investors. It's just a great idea, and nobody really goes about it in that kind of structure for some reason. So yeah, there's everybody loves to talk about the risk in entrepreneurship, but doing something like that is how a lot of my entrepreneurship network, a lot of startups that I know started, and it's not as sexy, but it's safe and it makes sense, and it works. So like that's what trailers and movies for movies out in the world are. Like if you see a trailer, like that's not, the movie is not done. It is just, they just did the trailer and they're testing to see if people care about the movie. Same with video games, same with a whole lot of other things. Putting something out that doesn't exist yet is a very, very common strategy, and we should absolutely be taking advantage of that. Anyway, getting off on a little ramble. I'm a little sleepy. That's one way we could go about it. We could build a landing page if it's an idea that we can't build right here, right now, or at least start prototyping right here, right now. Or we could start prototyping it right here, right now. Usually if it's a digital product, we can do that. So let's come up with some ideas. I would love to know if anybody has any ideas just off the start. No pressure. If you have an idea you don't want to share, there's no pressure to share anything. But if you've ever like had an idea in the past or had like a side idea you've wanted to try, I'm not going to pursue your idea. Do not worry. I have way too much that I'm working on right now. I have my own stuff. I'm going to be focusing on that. But for the purpose of this, I can absolutely walk through how I might build something that you might be able to go and run with. So if it is an idea that you want to work on, I'm happy to build it part way to give you kind of a understanding of how that would work. But also if you have a silly idea that you had like a year ago and never wanted to pursue but thought would be cute, I'm also totally down to build that. So yeah, any startup ideas that anybody has or wants to discuss? And if not, I can pull from my list.
Okay, so I guess if no one has anything else, so last summer I spent working up in Alaska, and all these raft guides that I work with wore these shorts, and they're made of fleece. They got these crazy designs on them, kind of like my shirt. And I wore the fleece shorts every day that summer. I still wear them all the time. I can't find anywhere that anyone makes them online. So I was actually thinking about like, oh, what if I started kind of my own kind of brand for that and actually call them silly shorts. So it is kind of a silly idea, but I already kind of got a logo, stuff like that. I've drawn up some stuff on Figma, but I was kind of wondering what like the next process would be. I don't know if you just want to talk about that, like what your flow is, but we don't necessarily have to use this.
Yeah, no, if nobody else has any ideas, I totally would love to run with that. Like that's awesome. That's beautiful. Little e-commerce stores and things like that, totally super easy to structure. And actually, depending on there's a little drop shipping service online that just lets me print things. And I'll bet they have shorts. I'm like 80% sure they have shorts. So we could actually probably get like a real prototype up and running completely, maybe in an hour and a half. Yeah. Do we have an hour and a half in this session, by the way? Is that how long it is, or is it just an hour? I can't remember.
It's until 3:30, or yeah, an hour and a half.
Cool. Awesome. Good. So yeah, I bet we could do that. Oh, excuse me. Getting over a sickness. I'll be blowing my nose a little bit. I apologize. Cool. Does that sound good to you, Kelsey? Is that interesting? Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Cool. Okay. Last little moments. If anybody else has any other ideas, we can totally build those. But I'm totally down for this. Yeah. No pressure. I'll start getting started. Okay. Cool. Let's heckin' do it. Full. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started. This is going to be fun. Load this up. See all your wonderful functions. Chat. Open the chat up. Now I can see all the chat. Okay, cool. So this is Printful. This is the kind of the back end of what we're going to be using, at least to start. Ideally, it sounds like you have a kind of a whole model for what you want these shorts to look like. Like the whole things are a pattern. They're fleece. Like they're very specifically like this type of everything, right? This type of fabric, this type of pattern. That might be hard to recreate on something as standard as Printful, but we can probably at least prototype it and see if people like the idea, right? And get something up and running. Basically, what Printful does is it lets me create and sell custom products online. You can kind of see this right here. So you design a mug or whatever the heck else, a pillowcase, a blanket, or in this case, shorts. You put your design on it, and they, on the back end, wherever the heck they have the manufacturing, print it. They print it with that pattern, that logo, that icon, that whatever, and then they ship it to the location for you. So somebody buys it on your online store. The backend is connected to Printful. They see that there was an order. They print that thing. They ship it, and you get a cut. And you get a pretty big cut, depending, and you can define the prices and everything. So in terms of like creating an online store for anything physical like this, it's like a beautiful solution. I've just been able to spin up entire online stores, apparel stores, merchandise brands, things like that, super easily. So that's what we're going to be using. That's pretty.
And what percent of the cut do you actually get?
Great question. Yeah. So they don't define a percentage that you have to stick to. What they define is a price. So the minimum price that they have to get on every unisex t-shirt, right? Like they give me a ton of options for t-shirts, but for this specific t-shirt, you'll kind of see is like $9, $8 for this plus $1 for shipping and handling. If I price my shirt at $20, I get $11. If I price my shirt at $30, I get $21, right? It is entirely 100% kind of up to me beyond that minimum, if that makes sense. So they don't charge a minimum percentage, and they don't define the price beyond their minimum. So we have flexibility, which I appreciate a lot.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So let's do it. So the three tools that we're probably going to be using to start is one, Card. Very simple, free, easy to use online website builder. They have paid plans if you want to build a ton of websites. I like to build a ton of websites, so I have one of the paid plans. But it's a super, very easy to use little website builder, and we're going to be using that. Second tool we're going to be using is Gumroad. Basically, Gumroad is just a little buy now button. Card doesn't come with its own e-commerce functionality, right? Where you click a button, a credit card thing pops up and you go and buy, or like cart functionality or anything like that. So Gumroad is just a little embeddable plugin that creates individual pricing pages. No cart, no nothing like that. Just you click on a button, takes you to a page, you select the things that you want, credit card thing pops up, they buy, it sends you that money to your bank account, right? That's basically all it is, and they take a small percentage. But Gumroad integrates really, really conveniently with Printful. So when something happens in Gumroad, it ships on Printful, right? And we lose a slight bit more percentage here, I think, right? Because I haven't, at 0, we're gonna get a 9.9% Gumroad fee, so a bit, right? But it's not gonna collapse the business, and it's gonna still be excellent for testing, and it's free. So why the hell not, right? There's plenty of other options we can go with outside of Gumroad once we have more success, but we want to be able to test as cheaply and quickly as possible if anybody cares at all about this idea. So we're gonna use Gumroad, we're gonna use Printful, and we're gonna use Carp. So let's set up that little website. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. I use Superboard as my example build for most classes, so that's why I have a few of them. Okay, I'm also going to delete this other Superboard, delete site, boop, boop. Cool, now I have 2 sites left, so let's do this. Let's choose a nice little e-commerce starting point. Maybe this? I could build something from scratch, but I'm kind of garbage at design, so let's do something like this. Maybe a little product page. How about, actually, you know what? This is kind of nice. This is very simple, but it's kind of nice. I use it for a portfolio thing here, but I bet we could totally use it for shorts.
I like it.
Hmm?
Looks good.
Cool. Let's do it. Let me check a little bit more. There's this. This is also pretty good. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with this. I'm reviewing Gumroad, but don't get what it's for. So you'll see in a moment. It'll make a whole lot more sense. But thank you for telling me. I'll do my best to kind of run over it again. Basically, you know what? It's gonna make more sense as I kind of run through it and as I kind of put this on the website. It just adds a little payment page, and that'll make more sense as I kind of use it. But if I go over it and it still doesn't make sense, Rhiannon, please just let me know, and I would be happy to try to dive a bit deeper to see if I can help. Okay, this is, I have a whole section down here for thank you. I don't care about thank you. Container, there was a container, I knew it. Right now I'm just minimizing, I'm just deleting some stuff on the little sites. This is the form. I don't need a form. Delete. Oh, I have a container inside a container. I'm very curious. Contact form. Delete. Beautiful. Now we got something nice and simple. We're going to call this silly shorts. Love it. Silly shorts. And then maybe a bit of stuff. So we'll say like warm, comfy, and with a whole lot of personality. I'm just making up some copy. Personality. You'll never step out of these shorts. Never step out of these shorts. Very standard, very basic, but hey, whatever. If anybody has any other ideas for copy, you can totally write it in the chat, and I would be happy to put it there. We don't need icons. Maybe we need some icons. Maybe we could do, there's like Visco, CodePen, Dribble, email. We'll go Instagram. We'll maybe add like, yeah, we could do email. Yeah, email might be useful. So maybe it'll be like mail to : also, if you ever want to link somebody to automatically open their little email tool, if you do mail to : and then your email, in this case is maxmiro@gmail.com. When they click that little mail button, it'll now automatically open. In my case, it would be like Hotmail, right? Not Hotmail, what is it? Microsoft Mail. I cannot remember the name. I'm terrible at this. Just Microsoft's Mail app that's default on my computer. It'll pop it up and then boom, right? It'll automatically input maxmiro@gmail.com to send. And that's a nice little fun thing. Instagram, it would be like instagram.com/silly shorts. If we had an Instagram, right? That could be one of our advertising channels. Fun. And then anything else that's super important? I don't think so. Yeah, it's probably fun. Done. Cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. And then this get in touch button is what we're going to change. So I'm actually going to add something called a widget or an embed or just a button. But I'm going to add a widget to make it a little bit smoother. And we're going to go to Gumroad. That has an automatic option for Gumroad. Button label by the silliness. By the silliness. That is how you spell silliness, right? I would imagine.
I think so.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. All right, cool. So that's the button we're going to run with. I'm going to delete this button. This is the button that Gumroad would automatically generate. Card just has an option to create it beforehand. But now let's go to Printful and design that product. Let's go to stores. Should be in my Gumroad store. Awesome. Yes. I guess I need to create a product first and then connect it to the Gumroad store. Oh no, wait, I need to create. I think I know what I need to do. Okay, I think I need to do Gumroad first. Let's go to dashboard. Let's go to products. Go to new product. Let's call this silly shorts. Let's price it at, I don't know, $50. Nice high ticket short. Like 40. Yeah, we'll do 50. That's fine. Product contains one or more physical goods. It absolutely does. We're going to start selling today. Next, customize it. A cover. But the cover is something we want to design in Printful, because Printful gives you nice images of your products automatically. Let's go to product template. Let's make something first. Oh, men's clothing, women's clothing. Let's do, guess what would be men's clothing? Let's see if they have shorts. Hey, it looks like you can absolutely get all over print. Perfect. So it's not going to be the design that or it's not going to be the material that we want, right? Because we wanted a specific material. But in terms of the design, we can absolutely make that happen, apparently, which is hilarious. Okay, select all sizes. We're just gonna do extra small to extra large. That looks great. I guess we'll keep them white. And then we need to find a silly pattern to work with. So let's go to maybe like Canva. Let's see if we can make a silly pattern on Canva. Create a design, custom size, 1500 by 1500. This is going to be a little bit testing. We're going to test a few little things here because I don't know what design it's going to want to accept. And by the way, Canva, let me just quickly paste all these tools into the chat for anybody that wants to start fiddling with them. Gumroad. Boop, 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 boop. Gumroad. Then we have Printful. Printful.com. Those are the three we've used so far, and then we just opened Canva. Canva is like a little design tool online, very, very simple, easy to use. Elements. Let's see, maybe pattern. I like this. If it will ever show up. Maybe this as well. Oh, it's having some trouble. Come on, I believe in you, Canva. This is kind of cute as well. Okay, we have 3 patterns here and nothing is showing. That is disappointing. Hold on, let's refresh. Give it a second. There we go. I like, this one's pretty cool. I like this. I'm just 100% stealing a pattern, but you know what? Heck it.
Heck it.
There you go. Oh, wait, cool. Oh, this pattern repeats. I don't know if you can tell. This pattern deliberately repeats. That's really cool. So hold on. Pattern. That's so fun. Research elements. This. So if you copy paste, it lines up perfectly. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's really
dope.
cool. That's super fun. So we can scale it however, whatever size we want. Okay, cool. So we'll just go with this. See if this works. PNG, download. And we have a cute pattern. Let's go back over to here. Let's drop the design here. See what it does. Oh, I love this. Wow, it gives us this whole little system. Image doesn't meet requirements. Oh, the safe print area. Interesting. So it doesn't currently like the structure.
Huh.
Oh, okay. Scale to fit. Nope, that's not what we want. How about this? Okay, so it does like this. Great. We spin fold line, right leg, left leg, check print area, print quality. So it isn't super high print quality, which is fine, whatever. Yeah, that looks great. I'm hip with it. Print area background, none. Yep, upright background, all placements. Okay, okay. Yeah, that should be fine. Continue. Haven't uploaded back. Oh, no, I'll fix it. Ooh, where's the back? Aha. And then I guess we'll just upload the same thing to the back because we're lazy and we want to whip this up. Scale down. Okay, it's being futzy. When are you going to be less angry at me? Scale down. Why are you having such trouble? When does it get mad? Interesting. On the back, it really doesn't like it. Very weird. I think it might not like, doesn't meet our print requirements, but it likes it there. Huh. So maybe it only wants it in like this wide format. Let's try that really quickly. Let's do width this and height like 700. Let's try grabbing this same pattern again from this one, copying it over to here. Download that. Let's see if it likes that a little bit more. Yeah. Hate me. I know. I know you're mad. Scale down. Yeah, it doesn't like us going past a certain point. Past that little weird point. Okay, well, heck it, we're gonna run with it. I'm sure there's a way to get it to like it a little bit more. But for now, we are just going to work with this. Pardon my nose. I don't know if you can hear my cat in the background being a jerk. She's deciding to scratch and eat everything immediately. Okay, this looks good. Continue. Heck it. Love it. Yep. Zenzophilic long shorts, font print. Beautiful. Save product template. Hold on, back to design. Mockup view. This is what I want to see. Okay, yeah,
No
this looks super
way.
cute. Yeah. I like it. Let's roll. Yeah, okay. Dope, 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 dope. Stitch color. What does that mean? Save product template. Okay, so that product template is created. I wonder, I want to download the mockup. There we go. I want to download. Actually, I'll get all of them. I want PNG, barefoot mockups. Yes. I love the lifestyle mockup. That's funny. All right, cool. Generate mockups. Hope it works with the actual pattern. It's not just showing this to me. Give me. Oh, not available for this product. The ones you download will have your review. We just can't show it here. Good. Okay, cool. So once this is open, we have this here. Beautiful. What does this look like? It looks like, keeps appearing on my other screens. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Downloads. Let me extract all so I can access those. Archive 2, beautiful. Cool. Now we have our images. So let's choose some images for this. Let's go to downloads, go to archive 2, and let's use this, this, and this. Oh, it only lets us do 3? That's so weird. Oh no, because I'm a dummy. I was holding shift instead of control. Okay.
Yeah.
That looks quite nice. And then you scroll through and you're like, oh shoot, fire. These shorts are lit. Gotta purchase. I love the dude in the gym with the weights. That's
That
so
is
dramatic.
hilarious.
That's so dramatic, dude. That's so funny. Okay, cool. I want this. The button will be buy this. It looks like, given the pricing, we actually priced it pretty well, because when we went back here, change may not be saved. Yeah. It looked like the pricing for this was actually pretty high. It was like $27 or $28 for this pair of shorts, which makes sense. Like it's difficult for them to manufacture. So us pricing it at like $50 may have been a good move, right? Or at least like reasonably high. So let's keep it at 50. Love it. No content. It's just this. So the shorts. What the heck is going on here? This is garbage. Display 1 to 5 rating star. Yep. Tags. Shorts. Apparel. That's fine. Limit product sales. No. Allow customers to choose a quantity. Yes. Probably show the number of sales on your product page. Not yet. You can always change that later. Summary, description, silly shorts. Can I get rid of the stupid this? Because something's glitching here.
Maybe it's on your profile, top left.
It might be, yeah. I need to go into my profile. Invite your customers to a Circle community. That's new. That's a new integration. Circle, for anybody who doesn't know, just a quick sidetrack. Circle.so is like a community platform. It's like if you ever use like Discord or Slack, it's like better. Like you can do live streams, you can do like community conversations, you can have forums, you can have chat rooms, voice rooms, everything, and it's all totally custom branded for you. So it's like just a slightly higher ticket version of Discord, has all the same functionality more or less. Has a lot of just like solid branding. And apparently now that you can integrate it directly, that's really cool. I didn't know that was a thing. So maybe we could create a community around our silly shorts. Silly shorts wearers around the world. Who knows? Okay. Quantity, buy this, great, love it. Let's see if we can add a little bit of summary. Description. What is this? Now, it's being a little weird. Maybe it's just a glitch. We can roll with it. Only meant for adults, including the preview. Nah, this isn't necessarily an adult product. We'll save changes. We'll go to checkout and shipping destinations. Let's say we're only shipping to the US, and it'll be $5 shipping. With others, it's $10 shipping. Maybe we could also ship to Europe, whatever. Discount codes. We could add a little discount code. Maybe like cool kid. Cool kid. Amount off, I don't know, $5. Or maybe like free shipping. Free shipping, amount off $5. Who knows? Whatever. A discount code field to purchase form. Yes. Required shipping information required is a physical product. Yes. Receipts. Thank you for your support. Okay. That looks fine. They even have Google Pay, which is quite nice. I think that's all we need. And then we need to share and to publish your awesome product. Published it. Go over to share. Yeah, there we go. Show my profile. Share. Oh, show on my creator profile. Yeah, it's being really weird with this. This looks super dumb. I'm hoping that goes away. I'm going to copy the URL. Now we have the published page. It's like we've created a form, right? But it ends up integrating payment. We're going to go back into our website, and we're going to paste the product URL right here. And now I'm going to publish this website. This will be Silly Shorts. The description will be the silliest shorts you've ever worn. Published to .co, Silly Shorts. Let's see if that's available. It is available. Sweet. I'm going to actually upload one of the images that we had to here as our background image.
Nice.
That's great. Here, good, publish, and view site. So this should be good. Boom, buy the silliness. Click here and it opens this. Why does it have this? Yeah, that's so weird. Huh. There's gotta be a way to fix that. Buy max, but then it just butts in my. Yeah, that's an HTML issue. I think Gumroad's having a glitch right now. It's not the end of the world. Like it just looks a little dumb from my perspective. I'm sure most people won't even notice it. Let's see if we can actually make this a pop-up. Because that makes it, because this takes them to a separate page, right? Maybe I don't want that. So let's go back into here. Instead of this, let's make it an embed. We'll pop it right up here. We'll go back to Gumroad. We will get the embed. Oh no, this is the embed for this. Inline purchases without leaving your site. Copy this, yes. Hopefully this makes sense. I'm just grabbing a different code and pasting it in because I want the button to behave slightly differently. So now if I publish it, I can go back to here, refresh, and buy my product is right here. I click it and it does a pop-up. That's slightly nicer. That's slightly nicer. Okay, cool. Beautiful, wonderful. That looks much better. I like it. Let's actually go to the Gumroad page, back to the product, and make it so we don't show the same exact image. So I'm going to delete this one, and we'll just show this one at first. Yeah. Actually, we'll show one of these. No, this is a little lifestyle. Looks cuter. Cool. Okay, awesome. Settings, limit product sales, probably show them shows on your profile page. What if I added a summary? This, and this. No, that goes underneath there. So I want to put, maybe we add a thumbnail. Will that make it any better? Trying to think of a way to get rid of that dang little glitch. Additional details, summary, content, variants. Oh wait, we do need to include variants. Add variant, variant name, size, and we want extra small, an option, small, an option, medium, an option, large, and extra large. Okay, that was a good thing that I forgot to include. Great. Yes. Save changes. Beautiful. Still looks really dumb. That's disappointing. What about this though? It includes it below. Odd. I'm sure something will change and it'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. Just a little disappointing. Okay, cool. Save changes. Everything's good. Should be fine. Let's go back over to Printful and make sure that connection is working, because we need these two tools to be integrated. We need Gumroad, a little tool that is doing the payment page where they can select their options, and it's on our website right here, this little pop-up. We need this to actually connect to the back end of Printful. So when they buy something via Gumroad, the actual product connects. So let's go to Gumroad store, view store. I think this is how I do it. Silly shorts, excellent. Not synced. So let's edit this. Choose product. Synced items. No, this is different. I guess I need my product templates. Odd. Okay. Silly shorts. And we haven't actually created a product in Printful yet, I guess. So we should use my product templates, and it would be the men's long athletic shorts. Yes, and we want. Okay, wait. Select size, small. Wait, hold on. Plan website maintenance. Oh, is the website maintenance today? Oh, my goodness, not. That would be embarrassing. File library, Gumroad store. Manga was amazing. I'm excited to dress myself. Yeah, no, this is how I buy all my custom clothes. I have an entrepreneur hat somewhere, and I have a hoodie, and I have a shirt, and I did it all on Printful. You can do it with individual products by just clicking new order in the top right and just sending it to yourself for the cheapest amount possible. It's very funny. With the product shortage due to COVID, there's a long delay for customers to receive their product. So that's a great question. There was. There absolutely was. Not lately. Hold on. Is it gonna heck me? Okay, yeah, there we go. Not 6, 5. Perfect. Beautiful. Now it's extra small, all the way to large. Yes, perfect. Great question. I don't think it's any more, because initially at the start of the pandemic, or at least when shipping started to shut down, yes, I had to wait it was like a month for my product to actually arrive, and that was very frustrating, right? And I'm sure they have written a ton of articles about that because it's so pivotal to their business on the website. I don't know off the top of my head if that has reduced or if that's not a problem anymore. When I tried it a while back, I think it was fine, if I remember correctly. So I don't think it's an issue anymore, but it very well could be. But I know it was in the beginning. I know it was when there was initially an issue. But shipping may still be a problem. I keep hearing on the news about how we have shortages of everything. So it may still very much be a long delay, but it will ship. It will get there. Actually, no, I'm gonna look that up. That's a really good question. I should know that. Print full shipping delays. Recent updates. Average fulfillment times displayed in business days. Okay, well, it's not showing anything. That's fine. Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, it's saying they're good. It's saying they're good. Changes in the way VAT orders, why the change. Order tracking is now live. Oh, wow. Huh, you can include live tracking. That's really cool. Some products are stock in Europe. No, it looks like they are good. And their shipping rates are great. It's like 2 to 7 days in the US and 1 day in some. I guess they have their own warehousing. That's really cool. So it looks like they're good, but I would probably dig into it a little bit more. I know they wrote some articles about it earlier in the pandemic, but it's a super great question. Yeah. So hopefully everything's good. Hopefully everything's fine. Let's go to extra small. Let's sync this. My product template. That's like shorts. It'll be small. Anyway, this is extra small. Right? It's the same one, right? Yes. Continue. That is that. This will be extra large, product template. This, extra large, continue. I'm just individually syncing each size for the products because we made, I think, 5 sizes and Printful needs to know exactly what's happening. So we made a template for it and we're just going over to here. And this is large, I think, right? That was small. Oops. Hold on. Let me fix that. That was continue. No. I screwed up. Unsync. Small. Ples. Back to browse. My product templates. This. Small. Yes. And then medium large. Yes. This setup can be applied to one other variant. Or another small? No, there's not. Whatever. I'm gonna keep doing it individually because I'm scared. This is medium. Cool. Ah, the tedious work. And large. Product templates. This. Large.
And so say if I wanted to like have multiple designs, I would just have to go through individually and do like, say if I wanted 3 designs of all the shorts. So it'd just be, you know, kind of a lot more dirty work.
A little bit. Yeah. It would take like, 5-10 extra minutes. It wouldn't be that big of a deal, but you would create variants on here. So we created variants for size here, right? We would also add another variant for pattern, right? Where you'd be able to, you'd make a few other versions of the product on Printful with different color schemes or different patterns or whatever. And then you'd create those variants here, and then you'd also go back and sync them up here. Yes. Great question. Cool. I think this is ready to go. File library, stores. I believe things are all connected and good and wonderful. Let's double, triple check here. Silly shorts all synced. What is not synced? These are not synced. Silly shorts, okay, great, love it. Beautiful. I think that's good. And they can select as many as they want. Excellent. Shorts apparel. Save changes. Great. Everything is good here. I think. Let's republish really quickly. Okay. Like silly shorts, refresh. I'm like 99% sure we are just done. So we go here. All these options. I want a large. I'm gonna buy this. This is a test. Yeah, this is a fake one. Discount code will be free shipping. Free shipping. Cool. Love it. Beautiful. Mail to. Nice. Street address will be this one. Excellent. And pay. Your purchase was successful. Silly shorts, $45. Shipping, $5. Total, $50. Great. Looks good. Yep. That was a test purchase. So it wasn't actually, as you can kind of saw, it was like a fake card that it kind of gives me because it knows that I'm logged in via my Gumroad account. But straight up, I'm like 99% sure that if you went here and you bought a silly shorts from that link that I just showed you, it would pop up a real credit card amount, like a real credit card thing, and it would actually ship it to your door.
So I could actually buy these.
Yeah, it's just straight up ready. You can go and purchase these, and anybody can go and purchase these, as many as they want for I get whatever quantity they want in whatever size they want. It is just ready to go. We now have an e-commerce store that is fully functional.
That is incredible.
We figured that a lot quicker than I thought we would. I thought we would need the whole hour and a half, but we kicked butt. So yeah, Silly Shorts is now an idea. It now exists. Cool. And of course, like if we wanted to, we'll now go over the kind of the marketing scheme and we'll kind of talk about how that would function. But if we wanted to actually do these, this would be the initial test. If people would like these, this is fun, great. These are high quality shorts, awesome. I would probably like if you wanted to actually manufacture the higher quality version, the one that you were talking about, that's like made of a like certain material, you would do this for a while. You would make sure people like these, and you'd probably go into here, maybe add like a button down here for like want more question mark, right? And then maybe you'd add like a form here, like a Google form or a Jot form or whatever to collect information. So people could click down here and they could say want more, and they could fill in a little bit of information on what kind of shorts they want. If they would want this like woolen, more, you know, like fluffier, softer, whatever material. And if you get enough people signing up, then maybe if you have maybe like 100 signups over the next like few months, like people just kind of trickle in as you're doing your marketing and trying to sell this version of the Silly Shorts, then maybe you have people that want it, right? And you have their emails and you have their contact information. You would go to manufacturers or clothing manufacturers and you would just Google that and probably contact like 5 or 10 and inquire about prices and the minimum amounts that you can work with. You might use a service like deliver.com, which is like a warehousing service. You ship them a bunch of stuff, they hold it, and then whenever anybody buys anything on your online store, they automatically ship it out really quickly. Or you could just keep them in your, you know, home and package them up and ship them out whenever you want to. Plenty of different things. I think also Printful might also have their own version of warehousing, which would be really cool. But yeah, that's what you would do. You would probably have to find individual manufacturers for that, or a local shop, something along those lines, because shipping with like creating with custom materials and things like that, you're going to have to deal with manufacturing. But that would be the next step. We don't need to do that right now. We just need to prototype. Hopefully that makes sense.
So if I found the specific material I wanted and kind of like the look I was going for, I could send it to Deliver. They could hold it, and then whenever like a order went through on the website, they would send it to would they send it to Printful or just whoever's manufacturing the shorts?
So you would find the material you really like. You would talk to some manufacturers and say, hey, can you make these shorts out of this material? You'd talk to like 5 or 10, however many, to find somebody that's comfortable doing that will do it for a low like size, maybe 100 instead of like 10,000, because you don't want 10,000 shorts all at once. You'd work with them, you'd make sure that they like it, and then you'd have them manufacture those and ship all of those to either to you or to Printful's warehouse or to Deliver's warehouse, or whatever. Like maybe you are the warehouse, maybe you use some other warehouse like Deliver, and I think Printful has one.
Okay,
and then
gotcha.
On that online store, you would either have a little address collector and then you ship it yourself. Maybe you use Gumroad for that, right? Because Gumroad will tell you all the addresses of everybody that's bought something. Or you would hook it up to like a Shopify store and then connect that to Deliver or whatever else, right? And they would automatically ship it whenever something happens. But yeah, that's what you would do. You would get the full products manufactured though, and then ship them to whatever place you're going to be sending them from, whether it's a home or a warehouse.
Cool.
Rhiannon asks, what about other purchasing a bulk item to sell? Is there credit to the creator, property rights, checking how legit it is? Would they contact me? I love your shorts. Can I sell them in my shop? Ooh, great question. You own all the rights. You own everything here. It's just a design that you're putting on their products. So in theory, what you could do for that, I made a purchase. Can you show? Oh, you made a purchase? Did you buy the shorts? You do not need to buy the shorts unless you really, really like them. Bought the shirt. That's very funny. Yes, I should be notified in Gumroad. Yeah, I got a sale. New sale of Silly Shorts for $50. So I got it on my phone because I have the Gumroad app. You're hilarious. I hope you really like the shorts and you're very interested in them. I wish you told me. I could have dropped the price to the minimum. Very nice. I'm glad, dude. That's great. Feel free to message me at any point if you want like a partial refund on that. I don't want to charge you more than you need to pay. Can you show me what it looks like? All good. Glad you're here to talk to us, dude. You're so nice. So yes, let's go into Gumroad and let's see what my product looks like. This should show. So total revenue $50. Boom. I don't really sell things on Gumroad typically, but this is what it looks like. I have all my other little test products here. And then Silly Shorts is right here. And so if we go into here, I can just directly edit, but it gives me the direct kind of pricing, the revenue that I've made, etc., from individual items, right? So it shows it here. I think I can actually also have like an analytics thing. So it'll show a sudden spike. Yeah, right here. Very funny. Wonderful. Yeah, but you get full analytics on everything that's happening on a monthly, daily basis, on a custom basis for individual products if you want, right? So yeah, they have a great analytics tool on the back end. And also if you download the Gumroad app, let me see if you can see this, those two little blue notifications. The first was my test notification down here, and the second was your little purchase. So it says new sale of Silly Shorts for $50 for both. Sweet, man. And the actual profit would be back on here. So it would be statistics, Printful. This is dead startup shirts. This is different Gumroad store. A little more day-to-day. Keep those orders coming. We'll check back a little bit later. Stores, affiliates, orders. Where would it show? I guess it would be orders. Yep. Failed. What the heck? All right, so you're getting your money back. This is a great test, though. Aha, expired card, please use your card or get in touch with your bank. Okay, so let me quickly fix that then. That's embarrassing. Billing. Need to get fix on my card. This, yes. Deposit to wallet. Oh, I guess the actual deposits didn't work, but the shipping maybe worked. Hold on. Use a new card. Get in touch with your bank. Different wallet billing methods. Expired. Aha. I need to go and edit this. Add new billing method. Payment card. This. So account is primary, yes. And then I should be able to hopefully individually fix those. Let's go to this. How about this now? Can I try it again? Confirm order. And review order. Pay securely now. Yep. Waiting for fulfillment. Perfect. Okay, cool. So yes, now it works. My goodness. Very glad that you tested that for me, because that was just a little payment glitch on my back end, but everything's good. Yeah, waiting for fulfillment. So should be shipping to you. Rock on. Cool. Very glad we tested that. That was sketchy. Broke out into a cold sweat. No big deal. Cool. Awesome. Where was I? What was I talking about? I'm notifying Gumroad. Hopefully that all that kind of discussion on like the analytics and what you see and everything else like that makes sense. Hopefully that answers your question. It's a great question. What about others? Purchasing a bulk sale. Is there credit to the creator? Property rights, checking how legit it is. So to answer Rhiannon's question, is Rhiannon still here or did she skadoot? Oh heck, I don't think she's here anymore. I'll answer the question. If she hops back in, I'll answer the question again. But basically, you own all of this. I'm 99% sure you own all of this. I've looked into like the rights of everything. Basically, you're just printing on their product, and they are happy to do whatever. I think, and on like the base ends, like what you would probably do is you would go and you would talk to those whoever you're selling to, like the bulk person, like this store. There's a local department store and they really want to sell like 100 of your items and they want to just put them in their warehouses and ship them out. They love what your pattern is. you would just go to Printful, you would order 100 of those items for them, right? Ship them to your place, deliver them individually, and you would order them for the minimum price. And you just work with that, right? That would be a little bit different, right? Because that's doing it wholesale. And so in order, it may be that you might not make a profit on that because they might jack up, they might, only buy them for a very small amount. Because department stores like to do that, right? They have all of the marketing, they're doing all of the actual fulfillment for you. They just are buying your product. So maybe they would want these shorts for like $15 instead of $25, right? So it may not be that through Printful you can make that happen. That might be when you would go to a manufacturer and have those manufactured individually for a lower price, individual, like per item, but a higher, but you're, buying like 100 or 1,000 at a time. So you'd probably want to go to a manufacturer for that and individually work with them on that front. But other than that, you could probably use Printful, but it depends, right? Just be wary that you're actually making a profit and things function well for you and the amount of time you're putting in makes sense. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Great question. I feel bad they're not here anymore. Cool. Neato though. Neato Burrito. We've done a thing. We have a store. Everything works now. Any other questions? Any other ideas? Any other things we want to go over? Because we have another half hour. You have me for a half hour. Any questions you want to ask? We could also try to build some other little, technical idea or whatever else. But this was hilarious. This was super, super fun.
So they so if I want to, so Cardstock is, or Card is kind of like the platform that you're building the whole website on. Could I do it through like Wix or any other kind of website builder and then just attach everything to that?
Yeah, because the integration between Printful, the integration to Printful is via Gumroad, and Gumroad is just an embed. So wherever you can embed a thing or actually add a link, you're fine.
That
right?
is good. Okay.
Yeah, I've used Teespring before. That's a great question. Teespring, have you tried that? How does it compare to Printful? Great question. So for anybody that doesn't know, Teespring, and then there's also Redbubble is another good example. What's his name? I interviewed a guy on my show that's like the god of this. What is it? It's Redbubble. Michael Essick. That's what his name is. Essick.com. MichaelEssick.com. This is him, right? Yes. So this guy is so cool. I love Michael Essick. Basically, he's just an amazing human being. He's created this entire blog to help artists and designers make their own artistic dreams come true by designing shirts, right? Print on demand sites and print on demand companies, like Printful, I would imagine, to sell merch and increase profits. Yes. So he's the guy, the number one dude that I've been able to find on stuff like this, right? I found Printful myself, I think, but he taught me about things like Teespring and Redbubble, which basically are exactly what we just saw with Printful. They make it, they ship it, they do all of that, except they don't integrate, or their purpose isn't to integrate with your website. The purpose is they do all the marketing themselves. You just make the cool designs. The great thing about them isn't that they do shipping, it's that they are completely full service. But as a result, you get a lower cut, right? You're not doing the marketing individually. You don't own anything. It's just you make the designs and they do everything else, and you get a small cut every time somebody decides to buy your design, right? Both of them are just like that. Redbubble and Teespring, and then I think TeePublic, maybe Teespring is different. No fluffs given. Pause and meditate. There's a lot of fun stuff. I know somebody that's full time just doing Redbubble and Teespring and TeePublic. They've just recently reached. You could link to your Teespring store. Absolutely, you 100% could. Yes, 100%. You can link to that store and you can still sell those products on your website, no problem. But if you have your own audience, or you're doing your own marketing, or you're doing everything yourself, and your goal isn't to get found via Redbubble or Teespring or TeePublic, then you might as well do Printful, because the profit margins are going to be higher, right? That's the only difference. But you could absolutely link them. You could absolutely do it yourself, 100%. you could use both of them the same way, but your profits are going to be significantly lower on these because they expect to sell them all themselves, and for you to just create cool designs. That said, a lot of people, when they get on these things, they think they're just going to immediately start making money. There are like millions of different designs here. The person that I know that is full-time on this makes designs like every other day. Like, she is rapidly pumping these things out, and she's finally gotten to the point where all of her previous designs, the like hundreds that she's made before and the ones that she's frequently making and creating, are getting enough purchases that she's making money, right? That she's making a full salary, which is really cool. But it takes like apparently like a year to 2 years of like really consistent creation of good ideas, relevant ideas to get there. So it's this whole thing, right? You got to be a pretty good designer. I know somebody else that's getting into it right now as well, but a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool stuff. Yeehaw. Awesome. Hopefully that answers your question. That's a super great question on these specific types of platforms. Yeah, but I would highly check out Michael Essick if anybody's really interested in this stuff, because he goes into the marketing behind it, the SEO behind it. He's just I adore people that help individuals do their own thing. Like I'm in love with that man. He's such a nice boy. I wish there were more people that were passionate about indie artists. So cool. Any other questions? Ooh. Have you used Bubble.io for mobile app development? Thoughts on it? If you have, great question. Bubble is actually one of my favorite tools. It's gonna drop me into my dashboard. Yeah, Bubble. So if we went the technical route, right? If we had an app idea or something like that, or a website idea, this is probably one of the higher end tools that I would recommend. Bubble.io is super wild. It is like the tip top of app developers in the no code space. It takes forever to learn. It is a very difficult tool to learn. If you're getting into app development, the other tools that I would probably recommend to start would be something like Glide Apps. You can build very simple apps from Google Sheets very quickly for free, or Adalo. Adalo is another one that I really like. It's kind of like the Wix of app builders. It's a lot easier to learn, but it has slightly less functionality. But Bubble is like the tip top. Bubble is like the cream of the crop. They are so hard to learn. It usually takes everybody about a month of consistent work to get decent at it, and then like months beyond that to become an expert. Very tough to learn. But I absolutely love it. Like, once you get the hang of it, you can build basically anything. I'm building like this full dang platform for a client right now with it. It's super powerful. I've seen people rebuild Uber, Airbnb, Tinder, all sorts of crazy stuff. I will say though, for mobile app development, great question specifically for mobile app development, there probably are better tools, just because mobile apps Bubble struggles with. It's meant for web apps, and it builds things for web apps. That's its whole thing, which is great and totally fine. And you can format that in a mobile app like format, right? But you have to find like separate tools, and there are separate tools. You have to pass it through like a separate tool that like changes things and has to like reformat the whole structure in order to actually download it on the App Store, right? If just having a mobile web app is totally fine for you, there are still ways to download those onto your phone totally fine. That's great. That works beautifully. But if being on the App Store is extremely important to your business model, which it probably isn't, to be totally honest, the App Store is very saturated. If in the niche case that you need the App Store, I've heard Bubble struggles specifically with that, but basically everything else it's gorgeous with. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. It's a great question. It's a very niche problem. Stuff like Adalo has a functionality where it'll automatically port to the App Store if you want it. If you have an approved developer account on whatever App Store, as long as you're on the paid account, you can just port it directly and nothing changes and there's no problems. So I usually recommend that, at least for a first pass, but it's just slightly harder on Bubble, and you're gonna have to bump into a couple walls and fix a few things. Yeah. Cool. Great question. Super cool. Love it.
I was just wondering, like, what is kind of like a cost-effective way to generate more traffic to your website, app, whatever brand that you found works?
Great question. So, I totally got distracted. Marketing. Yes. Let's go over how the marketing kind of functions and what I would usually expect for something like this. For most ideas, if we're just building a landing page or we're just experimenting with something, right? Like we have an idea up there and we want them to contact us and we're going to collect their emails. We're going to find those customers before we build anything like that. The little preliminary stage where we're testing our startup idea in the markets, the thing that I talked about in the beginning. If we're doing that, my favorite thing is to make that landing page and then post it in a subtle way to a ton of different online communities, right? So I would go to like Reddit and Facebook groups and online forums, right? Anything relating to my specific niche, and I would basically just find every community in that kind of space. I'm going to show you a post that I made a long time ago. Where was it? Yes, this. I had a dumb idea called Minecraft co-working. It was a Minecraft co-working space. If you've ever played Minecraft, it's a little 3D blocky world. It's wonderful. I play it still. I played it ever since high school. It's like my entire life back then. And I wanted to build a co-working space at the beginning of the pandemic on Minecraft because I was like, people really loved co-working. Everybody really loved co-working when it was around, right? Now it's not really because of the pandemic and everybody has to be safe. So I was like, what if I can make a virtual space for that? And I thought the easiest way to make a 3D world would be Minecraft. Could be cute. So I went on a bunch of different little entrepreneurship forums and subreddits, and I posted a question. I made a little landing page. I prototyped a little thing, made it look like it was real. I didn't post the website though, because posting a website and asking somebody to do something is self-promotion, and the internet will literally try to kill you if you self-promote. Especially Reddit. Reddit is just the most savage community on the internet. It's maybe besides TikTok. TikTok is a little bit more savage. Everybody's savage though. But I ask a question. You ask people to give you feedback because everybody loves telling you what to do, but nobody likes to do things on the internet. That's the rule. So you ask a question. Can we use Minecraft for co-working? Here's my idea. Here's what I think the problem is. Here's maybe what I could do to solve it. What do you think? Right? That is absolutely what it is. At the bottom I said I've got a little sign up form going. Let me know if you're interested in joining the experiment. I shouldn't have even done that. I should have just kept it to, what do you think? Please give me advice. I am but a lowly being on the internet. You are the experts. Please feed me information, right? Ask for advice and try to get people to tell you what to do, because that you get more comments that way. And the more comments you get, the more popular your post gets on something like Reddit or Facebook, and the more feedback you're going to get. And then to subtly self-promote, down below, I had one of my friends ask, love this idea. How can I get involved? And then I, of course, responded, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're interested. I actually have a little website going. I would love it if you checked it out. Now it doesn't look like I'm self-promoting. Now it just looks like I'm answering questions for the community from genuinely interested people. You can also make a separate account and use that. Like you can be very sneaky with it. But just because I did that little link right there got me like 30 signups, right? Like a ton of clicks and 30 signups off of this one little Reddit post, right? So it works really well. The chances of you getting immediately banned from a subreddit or Facebook group or wherever are significantly lower if you don't use your personal account, if you use Reddit all the time, because they will 100% ban you. It happens all the time. I've been banned from so many like Facebook groups and subreddits and everything else. But wait for somebody to ask, or have one of your friends ask, or have a separate account ask, and then link it. It's a lot safer. And all these different little comments that I got down here were all excellent feedback for how to fix up my website, right? So in terms of testing ideas, posting to all those communities, and then posting again next week to the communities where your post didn't do well, because they're not all going to do that well, right? Posting to all the communities where you haven't been noticed yet each week, and regularly making updates to the product, to the concept idea, to what it solves, or maybe changing the idea entirely, is a great way to iterate and test and use a free version of marketing to get in touch with people that are your target audience, right? So that works really well for that. That's awesome. However, it might not work for a full dang product like Silly Shorts, right? This is ready now. It exists. It's a thing, right? So us asking advice could work. It could be fine. but it's, maybe you could say like I'm trying to build a brand of silly shorts, and I kind of have a prototype up and running, but I was curious what people think. Like, are there other products in the market, things like that? And then have somebody ask down below, hey, I would love to see what you currently have, right? And then you link it. So you could use that method a little bit, but it's not really that scalable. You know what I mean? And silly shorts, especially for this idea, like it's just apparel. Like, what niche are we going after, right? So it's a little fluffy. It might not work directly for that, but I would probably recommend is, because it's apparel, because it's a physical thing, I would probably recommend a little bit of early influencer marketing. That's usually a really cheap and effective method, and it's very hands-on to sell things like this. So I would go to influencers. I would go to Instagram. I would just go to Instagram.com. Let's find that fluffy boy. Let's find maybe like hashtag silly. I don't know, hashtag silly. Maybe let's see if we can find some interesting influencers at certain stages. This is kind of cute. I like the ferrets. That's fun. I would probably, silly probably wouldn't be the one that I'd go with. Maybe something like I would look up like early fashion, maybe like fashion, find like small fashion influencers, right? I would scroll through, see if I can find semi-popular people. This is pretty good, 400. Let's see who you are. Giant photographer. This is perfect because they work with probably like a few models or something like that. They have a good number of followers, around 15,000, something like in this space. Let's see if we can find somebody else. This human being, are you a fashion influencer? Yes, it looks like it. So you're pretty fashion. You got like 150,000 followers though, so that's going to be a bit harder to reach, right? Probably a little bit out of the ideal in the beginning. When you're doing influencer marketing, you probably want to go after people on TikTok or Instagram or anything like that. Probably want to go after people on Instagram around like 5 to 15,000 followers, and on TikTok probably like 10 to 20,000 followers, just a little bit shifted up because followers are a little bit easier to gain there. But you would find people like this that are cool, that are popular, have a decent following, that are probably focused on fashion or something, some tangentially related thing. Maybe it's weightlifting, right? Because these seem to be like maybe weightlifting-ish shorts. So you find weight influencers or weightlifting influencers or muscle influencers, bodybuilding influencers. You find them in that little early market, in that early pocket. They are going to still behave like human beings. Whereas if you go after somebody that has 150,000 followers, they are a business now, right? They may even have their own like talent agent that you contact first in order to get in touch with them, right? That's usually for people that have like 500,000, 1 million, but you never know. But regardless, when you contact them, they are going to approach you like a business deal. But if you contact somebody with 10,000 followers, they're going to say, hey, that's super cool. I've only worked with a few other people before, or maybe none at all. That's super cool. I would love to figure out a way to work with you, right? They're still a person, and you should be friends with them. You should be cool. You should genuinely make a relationship with them and try to see if you can work together and solve their problems as much as they're solving your own. Don't just say, hey, I can ship you a free pair of shorts if you promote them. Like, that works, but it's less effective, right? Because you have no control over what's going on. They're still a human being. They want to be treated as such. Be cool, right? But if you can give them one pair of shorts and maybe like create like a specific version of silly shorts for them, right? Like something like that, that gives a lot of brand awareness. It could be really fun for their audience. It could be really fun for them. And it could lead to a lot of product sales for you because they can directly link to whatever you're selling. Maybe they can make a post about it. So yeah, I don't know. That's probably what I would do. That's usually the most cost-effective strategy. Because in the early stages, it may be as simple as just shipping them a free pair of shorts and then they promote it to thousands of people. For products like these, there's a big like myth on the internet that running ads just works. It doesn't. Everybody says like, oh, you can just run some Facebook ads and you'll just make a profit. It does not work like that. It is incredibly hard to get somebody to click on a Facebook ad. How often do you click on Facebook or Instagram ads, right? Almost never, if at all. Right? I'm the same way. I've maybe clicked on 2. in my entire life. They are effective, but they're usually only effective for higher ticket items or extreme commodity products that you've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on already in the marketing in Facebook. So the price keeps dropping because it nails down exactly who buys these things. But usually it only works for higher ticket items where you have absolutely nailed down the supply chain and you've already spent a whole lot of money to super optimize what you're advertising. So don't fall for the myth that just running Facebook ads and you'll just make money suddenly. It's never worked like that for anybody. You should try it if it very specifically fits within your niche, or you know somebody that is amazing at Facebook ads and you can hire on to do all that testing, and you have disposable income to spend on Facebook advertising, so Facebook can use all that to narrow down exactly who wants to buy your thing. So ads aren't typically effective for little ideas like these, unless you're a larger brand. Cool, neat, awesome. Hopefully that makes sense. Influencer marketing is usually really good for things like this, but writing a few articles, trying to get sponsored posts on newsletters that are specific, things like that with existing large communities, and trying to work directly with those communities, maybe not just, like a paid deal, but work directly with those communities or influencers is usually a really cost-effective way. It just takes a bit more time, but that's fine, right? We're time heavy and low on cash in the beginning. So yeah, cool. Hopefully that makes sense. How effective are YouTube ads? Great question. More or less the same. It's more or less the same structure, unless it's a really high ticket item and you know exactly how to sell it, or you spend a ton of money optimizing the living heck out of it and you have a really, really nice supply chain. You're probably not going to make money immediately. So it's more or less the same thing as Facebook ads, but you're targeting a different niche, right? The audience is different. Now on YouTube, people are more conditioned to buy things like courses or digital products or watch videos. So having a sales video up there makes a bit more sense. Maybe like a online program makes a bit more sense, or like a coaching community makes a bit more sense. Whereas on Facebook and Instagram or on TikTok, people expect to buy commodity products. That's what they've been conditioned to see on there. So it fits more for the community. So depends on who you're trying to target and depends on your product. I would probably, if you know you can make ads work and you have the resources to do so, I would probably test all the different things. There are even Reddit ads, right? I've heard people have insanely popular success on Reddit ads if you do it just right. But Reddit hates you if you do it wrong. I've tried it and they've yelled at me. It's this whole thing. So yeah, I would probably try all of them if you have the resources to make that happen. But never assume any advertising online is just going to immediately work. Usually it's best to directly partner with existing communities or influencers in the beginning. That's my opinion. There's plenty of other marketing methods, but that's what I've seen work typically for small e-commerce or small brands. Yeehaw. Great questions. This is awesome. I hope this is helpful.
I guess one more to finish it off. I was just kind of wondering, what made you kind of get into this whole field of online entrepreneurship, e-commerce, this whole kind of deal? Because obviously you've done a good bit of this in the past and it seems to be working out, but it just seems like a really kind of unique kind of niche place to go as a career. So just wondering what kind of brought you into the space.
Yeah, totally. My dad is an entrepreneur. He runs a big tech company that got acquired in Seattle. So he was always really interested in it. So I was always generally interested in the concept. I studied it in college. It was super cool. I realized though that a lot of stuff on the internet that talks about entrepreneurship is super BS, an unbelievable amount of BS. It's when you search hashtag entrepreneurship on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, it is just white men being angry and aggressive, trying to drive fast cars, and just talking about mindset. It has nothing to do with solving a problem in the world, right? Which is what entrepreneurship is about. It's literally just about solving problems and fixing things for people. And if you do that well enough, they pay you a ton of money because you're making an impact, right? like in America, people call me a social entrepreneur, but in Europe, it's interesting. Europeans just call me an entrepreneur. It's very weird.
Wow.
Yeah, very differing views on what entrepreneurship is across the world. Point is though, I was very frustrated because the more I learned about entrepreneurship, I interviewed a ton of founders. I got like really excited about the space, just because I really liked the people. I ended up talking to entrepreneurs and they were just like, that's a great idea. We should go and build that. Like they're just such crazy, excited, high energy, love to do things kind of people. So that was what initially got me into it, the people. But the more I talked to people, the more experiments that I ran, the more tiny little businesses I tried to spin up, the more I learned that it was just solving problems and everything else is just BS. And I couldn't really find anything accurate on the internet about like how to really build something and like what that looks like. And a lot of the students that I talked to, their biggest issue was building that MVP, building that first little prototype. And so I eventually found no code and this whole space about building apps and websites and things like that. And then I got into things like Printful, and I just have this giant list of like 500 different tools online. And I've tried most of them that just help people build things like this, right? I ended up teaching at like one university. They loved it. I built online curriculum. I just kind of bumbled around, and the two things that I do now is I create content online and build an audience around how to build startups, and I speak at schools, and that's my thing, and it's a whole lot of fun. And then I also have a couple little businesses that I've actually built on the show or in sessions like these that work and pay me, right? And that's a big part of it too. But yeah, I just got really excited about the people, realized that the problem that I wanted to solve was the education issue. I'm not an expert, but I've just started a whole lot of things, so I'm decently good at the very early stage. And it turns out that's where most people that's where most people have the issues as well. So I created content, people liked it, solved that problem, and that has become my business, if that makes sense. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely think like just with the internet, like we're living in such a special time where you can connect, like especially with Printful, connect to users and producers all over the world. So I definitely think like kind of with entrepreneurship being a little overused, a little tacky. That's awesome that people like you are out here spreading the message and teaching people really what's up. So
thank you. Yeah, I'm super glad you've enjoyed this stuff. This is what's fun for me, so I'm really glad that it's useful for other people as well.
Cool, good deal. Well, appreciate your time. This was awesome.
I'm super glad you liked it. Yeah,
thank you, Max. This was very cool. Definitely something that we've never had before, so that's fun too. So I will, since we did record it, I will send that out to everyone who registered today, and then everyone that was on the call. That way they can go back and rewatch it, and because so much information was shared with us in the short time. So we totally appreciate it. And like I said, this is something new to us and kind of a unique method. So it was fun to have you and kind of bring a new perspective into our webinars. So thank you for joining us. Thank you everyone else for joining us as well. And yeah, we look forward to maybe having you again in the future, Max. So we'll keep in touch.
That would be great. I would love that. Yeah, and if I could get the recording as well too, because this was super fun. I would love to see that. Yeah. Yeah,
I'll send it out to you, and then I'll also include all of the websites that Max put in the chat throughout today's webinar. I will make sure to put that in the email as well, and then his contact information if you want to reach out.
Beautiful, perfect. That's what.
Awesome. And then what's your show called?
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, if you try to type entrepreneur into Google, but you switch the last 4 letters with nerd, you will find me. So
it'll pop right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. Sweet. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll see you later. Thank you so much. This has been super fun. Everybody have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you as well. Take care.